Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Antonio Ponte with Caribbean Baseball Organization TV, here with Felix OKUYE. Felix, thank you so much for joining. Would you like to talk to us a little bit more about Uganda baseball and who you are? Felix, are you there?
Thank you, Mr. Antonio. Uganda Baseball and Softball Association, the body that is responsible for the management, administration, development, and promotion of baseball and softball in Uganda. And our organization is the legally accredited organization by the government of Uganda through the National Council of Sports. And this association brings together very many categories of people. That is the clubs, the coaches, the umpires, officials, and the athletes together, and which creates the platform through which this lifestyle, the joy and the excitement of the sport is being experienced. Baseball by a group of US missionaries through an organization called Ultimate Potential, UPI, Incorporation, and with one gentleman by the names of Tom Roy. And we celebrate all his sacrifices, and we attribute our journey and attach it to him. Yes, well, before there are some drops of here and there of baseball where somebody had an idea of the game and all that, but what we look at as an organized establishment of the sport has been through that. And through that, the journey has come, and we established teams through schools, through communities, and then eventually clubs, having local club games, club championships, school championships, and eventually establishing national teams, which national teams majorly in the late 90s and the early 2000s was majorly involved in the activities of Africa through then organization called ABSA, that is Africa Baseball and Softball Association, which there was organizing the different continental activities, including the qualifiers of the world activities in terms of world championships, Olympics, in the instances where there were the Olympics. Then the excitement kept on growing until 2012, when we had one of our teams make it to the Little League World Series. Mm-hmm. And that was a major showcase of Uganda to the world, especially in the World Series experience. And at that, it gave us an opportunity to know the quality and level of the potential of baseball in Uganda. And as such...
And the team was successful. They were successful. They won a game.
Yes, they won a game. And knowing that they had also won already in Poland, where we had the Middle East Africa Little League Championships, and whoever won would make it to the Little League. Mm-hmm. So that continued now exciting us more. And with the drop of here and there also the partnerships with the people of Japan through the Embassy of Japan. So of course we had quite a number of Japanese volunteers through an organization called JICA, who on many occasions were training and teaching the sport. And through that, some of the Ugandan teams would go to Japan for an expedition of series of games. And through that, the government of Japan managed to extend an opportunity for Uganda to have the first of its kind baseball diamond, which is called the Uganda-Japan Friendship National Stadium. And as an organization which had not had such, there was a lot to learn. You know, whenever something good comes, you also get to learn more on how to maintain it, to manage it, to maintain the fields and all that. Remember, these are non-profit assets and organizations. So it really gave us an opportunity to get to understand how to maintain the fields, how to maintain all the facility and infrastructure, and the economics and finances that are involved in. So we kept on rising, and the game now kept on spreading more and more. And in the year 2016, we had a group of girls who went to play what's called the Canadian Cup. I believe you know it. And in the Canadian Cup, that was the highest level that we displayed the softball of Uganda. And it gave us also the same experience. You know, when you get to a higher stage, it is like an exam. It's like an assessment.
Right.
It's like an evaluation level. And it was quite a good one. Those expeditions after the Little League, in 2011, the team that qualified to go for the Little League World Series didn't make it. They didn't make it because the team failed to get American visas to travel. Yes, as such, which we come to understand. I mean, you don't just walk and you get an American visa here. So in the same process, one of the teams who were supposed to play was Canada. And the Canadian team extended the game by traveling down to Uganda.
Wow.
And when they traveled down here, it was quite a good experience. And through that, the friendship also kept growing. And that's how eventually also the support to the softballs came in. I mean, these supports are at the level of where you have even no equipment. I can tell you all the equipment that has existed in here in Uganda has come through donation of generous people who love the game and wish to extend another opportunity to one kid, one child out there to play the game and experience the joy in the sport of baseball and softball. You know, this is a team sport, and these team sports teach a lot. You know, they teach you a lot of life skills. They teach you how to manage as a team captain. They teach you how to relate with your fellow players. They teach you how to think, critical thinking, how to solve problems, you know, during a game, and you have to make this decision in order to win a game. All that experience, and you know how exciting and involving and mental baseball is, so is softball. So
It teaches
as
you
such,
life lessons, you know, that you can't get
exactly.
anywhere else in school or in
Yes,
the world.
yes, yes, and as such, it has helped us transform the lives of down here in Uganda, mainly because most of the kids come from various communities. You find that the guys who are coming from slum areas, the guys who are coming from refugee camps and all that, and families which are less privileged in terms of access to so many things. But because of the sport, they get recognition and opportunities and doors open before them. And it helps them also get focused and opportunity in their education. And as such, it lifts them to another level and transforms their lives forever. So to us, baseball and softball is not just a sport, but it's more of a life entire experience. And we believe in God that now we are risen to the level where we managed to make it for the Olympic qualifiers in 2019 for the Tokyo Olympics. And in all instances, we took the second position in Africa, where South Africa went on to represent Africa against Middle East to qualify for the Olympics. Well, South Africa lost to Israel in the baseball section, and that's how they ended up being in the Olympics of 2020 Tokyo. Now we are having hope that LA is coming in 2028.
Yes.
We believe we'll be there. And the hope and excitement is coming out more. The fact that now Uganda has qualified for the under 12 WBSC, that is World Baseball and Softball Confederation World Cup finals that shall be in Tainan, in Taipei, Taiwan. And we're excited. It's another big platform for us, and for the first time for Uganda to reach the level of a World Cup.
That's
I know
excellent. Congratulations.
Yes, the excitement is high because we are sure we are going to meet teams like USA, Japan. We're going to meet the likes of Venezuela there, Taiwan, the likes of German, Czech Republic, the likes of Australia. I mean, this is a World Cup of the 12 best in that category in this cycle. So this gives Uganda to be among those and showcase the level of baseball in Uganda. It has also happened that we are also going to feature in the under 18 category. And this under 18 category excites us more because in the last year and this year we have had, so far we have had a total of 3 signings through the Major League franchise teams. We have 2 young men who have joined the Los Angeles Dodgers. That is Serun Kumaben and Male Umaru. And now we have another young man who has been signed on by the Pirates, Pittsburgh, and that is Matoma David. And we believe these signings are an opportunity to evaluate the quality of baseball that is featuring here in Uganda. And if we are pulling this through with the kind of infrastructure that we have, I believe if we get to the next level, we will do a lot and transform and influence and impact the character of the sport of baseball as coming from Uganda.
Felix, you mind I ask you, about the 3 players who were signed, what does that mean to you, and to the country, to see that these gentlemen were signed to, this professional contracts here in the United States? Obviously very, very big news coming out of Uganda. What does that mean to you, to the guys that grew up with these players and to some of the younger audience who gets to see that their dreams can come true, and they can make it here in the United States and play professional baseball?
Yep. Thank you. As the president and leader of baseball and softball in Uganda, that is an accreditation to the entire organization that there is a lot of good work that has been done through the coaches, the scouts, the athletes. For an athlete to become good, he needs another athlete to play with. And if an athlete has played with one who has made it to that level, it gives them joy too. Right. And that's the posterity aspect of it, that forever they will be celebrating their friend, their teammate, their peer, coming from the same village, coming from the same school, and also the coaches having been the part of those journey of that particular athlete. And that encourages the coaches that, yes, if they can make these athletes get to this level, they can make others get to that level. And the fact that producing an athlete to the quality that can be signed by a major league franchise, it means that you have to invest in a lot. And that's where also we now have hope that perhaps this will accelerate us to get more partners, development partners, who can help us move the sport to the next level. These young men's contracts are not just influencing their lives, they're influencing the lives of their families. They're influencing the lives of their communities. They're influencing the lives of their peers they went with to the same schools. They're inspiring the young ones who are coming after them. They're giving hope to the coaches. They're giving hope to us, the managers of the sport, that what we are doing is something that is worth going on and on and on and on. Well, at our level, the sport is not yet commercial. It's still at the amateur level, but it gives us hope that we have to keep going, and in future, it will become something sustainable. And look at this, Mr. Antonio. Can you imagine the biggest platform of baseball in terms of viewership is through the ESPN? And look at the aspect of it. If Uganda now goes to the level of having athletes who are featuring on the major league games, they will be attracted to watch these games. If it happens in Uganda, it will inspire Kenya, it will inspire Tanzania, it will inspire the whole of Africa. And wow, we'll be creating a whole new community, family of baseball. Remember, it has more than almost 1.5 billion people. I mean, if many got interested in the sport of baseball, to almost 500 million people, you'll be having almost coming to an immediate 1.5 community in the sport of baseball and softball. And then it transforms the economics of the entire sport, which makes it sustainable. Why? Because the equipment is not cheap.
Right.
The sport of baseball is not cheap to play.
Sure.
And only when it has a good economic model can it be also sustainable in other communities.
Agreed. And when the players are able to come from Africa to the United States, it also helps the country from the American side as well, because now there's going to be more focus in the country. And, I know through Caribbean baseball, we've already seen that a little bit. Can you just talk to me a little bit about the future and what baseball in not only the country of Uganda, but in Africa is going to look like? What do you see for the sport, in your country and in the continent in general, in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, because of in my country, we would wish to make baseball among the top 2, 3 sports in the country. And with the kind of strategic plans that we have, the programs that we have, if these programs are put in plan and effected, I can assure you, baseball, the country will be transformed purely. I told you baseball is a team sport. Baseball is unique. Can you imagine a game that has 9 innings and people keep going in, coming in, giving in, going in? So when it is being played at an amateur level, one game, a team can have almost 50 people in a roster who get an opportunity to run. So if there are 2 teams, those are 100 youth and kids having an opportunity to play in
Right.
the kind of structure of this sport, which you do not find in other sports because of their kind of design of the sport. And with such, we believe this sport can transform communities, can transform, people are going to the gym to deal with non-communicable diseases. Here is a sport which gives you an opportunity to engage the entire body, from the brain to the muscles to every aspect of the body, the legs to run, the arms to throw. Oh boy, it's quite an exciting sport. So we believe that as a community, as an organization, that we can spur baseball to become the top sport in Uganda. And because of the great achievements we are doing here in Uganda, I got an opportunity to be elected among the leaders as the vice president for WBSC Africa. And that has lifted me at the leadership of Africa.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. And because of that, I believe that the model that we are using here in Uganda can go on to all other countries in Africa. Right. And as such, create a whole story of baseball in Africa. You know the story of baseball and softball in North America, that's the US and Canada. You know the story of baseball in South America, where you find the Venezuela, Mexico, so many. You know what is happening in the Dominican Republic. You know what is happening in Japan, in South Korea, in Taiwan. The same story can happen here in Africa. And I believe Africa will become the next hot spot for the sport.
That would be incredible. It would bring so much to the game, the amount of new people who would enjoy the sport and play the sport. It would grow the sport internationally. So, we would just like to thank you for the work you're doing, and obviously we're here for your assistance, and the whole world is behind you. And here in America, I know people are behind you, and you're seeing results, to have three gentlemen signed to play professional baseball. It's incredible stuff. And I wish you the best of luck, and I know you're going to succeed. I can see how passionate you're about it, and it's obviously excellent for the sport. And I really appreciate you coming on today and talking to us more and giving us more details and things that we might not even know here in the United States, because we just don't see international baseball news as much as, professional news here in the States. So thank you for coming on and telling your story, but not only your story, but the story of baseball in Uganda and in Africa in total. So I appreciate your time for that, and thank you so much. It's been really a pleasure. It's incrediable stuff going on. Seriously, Uganda had more international signings this year than I believe Mexico and Curacao. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's just you wouldn't expect that. And so to hear that 3 players were signed on international contracts at professional teams, I don't believe that's the first time in history, but I believe that's the most in the continent's history. Is that true?
It's in the entire continent, we had The Pirates one time signed somebody from South Africa some years back. There were major league programs which were going on in South Africa, and they managed to produce out an athlete. But then it has been followed by these 3 Ugandans who have made it to the roster. During the times of the major league trials in South Africa, because of the costs of travel, we could not afford to take quite many people there. I mean, now we are faced with a dilemma. Our dilemma is to make it to the World Cup. To the World Cup, you ought to have tickets to travel. You have to work on the visas. You have to, it's quite a tough one,
Right.
And when you're not considered as a major sport, you have to look all around, fundraise to ensure that you have these teams there. We are having the girls softball team, under 15, making it to the World Cup in Japan, Tokyo. That will be in October. We are having the under 12s, like I mentioned earlier on. When you have the under 12s making it to the World Cup, it is proof that your development program on the grassroots is good and it's working out, and it's taking you to that level. When you have an under 18 team making it to the World Cup, it shows that the progress of development is working on well. And I would believe these under 18 athletes, come 2028, we see some of them featuring in the Olympics team of Uganda. We see these young men who were signed by this major league franchise being part of the team. So that's our excitement. That's our driving force. That's the fuel pushing us. And we look forward to being in the World Cup. We look forward to you following on us and seeing there. We look forward to having friends and well-wishers supporting us to make it there to the World Cup, to give these young men and kids hope and transform their lives. That's it.
That's excellent. Felix, thank you so much for coming on today and taking time out of the day. I know you're a very busy guy with the World Cup qualifiers and getting everything in order. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this. Caribbean Baseball appreciates your hard work. So we thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. To all the viewers watching, we thank you so much for tuning in today for my interview with Felix, the president of Uganda Baseball. We hope you all enjoyed, and we hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Thank you, Felix.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. Yeah.